Hello, and welcome to episode 35 of the Sarah Seams podcast. My name's Sarah. I'm coming to you from Columbus, Ohio, where I live with my partner Troy and our three cats, Alex, Moo, and Elsie. Elsie is our little baby. She's only 4 months old. Life is crazy right now with them. This is my little corner of the internet where I share all about my fiber adventures. It's mostly knitting, but lots of other things sprinkled in. Today I have lots of knitting as usual, but I also have crochet, sewing, spinning, quilting. I've got it all today. It has been about 3 weeks since my last episode because we've been doing some traveling the past couple weekends. So last episode I had all the whips. I was feeling a little bit overwhelmed by all of my whips. I think I had like 17 knitting whips or something like that. So today I have a lot of FOs. I have like 9 or 10 FOs to share with you across all those different types of making I talked about. I have 7 whips, almost all of which are knitting. There's 1 crochet and 1 spinning. I'm looking at them over here. And then I also have a little bit of footage and chat for you at the end. On one of our travels, we ended up going to the Michigan Fiber Festival, which was totally unplanned, but super fun. So I'll talk more about that. And then I have some acquisitions from that to show you and a little bit of footage from that I'll put in at the very end of the video. And I think that is it. I'm also going to talk a little bit about planning at the end of the video as well for an upcoming project. So with all that, we'll jump right in. I do want to say that my social media information, Instagram, Ravelry, that's all linked below in the description box. I no longer do super detailed pattern notes, so if you have any questions about a pattern or a yarn or a fabric or anything, please feel free to leave me a comment and I will get back to you about that as soon as I can. All that out of the way, let's jump right in. My first finished object is also what I'm wearing, so I'm going to start with sewing and we'll go from there. This is a new pattern, new to me pattern designer, so I'll be headless here for a second. This is the Sour Cherry Top. The designer is Double Ugly Studio, which is kind of a funny name. Again, new to me designer, but it's this super cute raglan sleeves. So I use this striped linen and you can see it has this really nice raglan detail where the stripes kind of make a mitered corner. It is cropped, so I'm wearing it with a Donovan skirt. This is a pattern by Helen's Closet. It's just a simple elastic waist black linen skirt with some cat hair on it. But yeah, this is the Double Ugly Sour Cherry Top. I made a couple of modifications to this. So I did shorten the sleeve by like 2 or 3 inches, I think. In the photo, it comes past the elbow crease. I prefer my short sleeves a little bit shorter, so I did shorten the sleeve. I also went back and forth with the body. So the pattern designer is 5'2". I am 5'5", and it says in the pattern, it tells you how to lengthen or shorten the pattern if you are taller or shorter than the designer. So I followed those instructions, lengthened the pattern by 1 inch, and then ultimately went back and ended up shortening it by 2 inches. And I think this is just a proportion thing. I'm very short-waisted. So ultimately I'm very happy with where it ended up. It just hits me right at the perfect spot to wear with my high-waisted pants and skirts. It has a bit of a curved hem in the front. Here's the back. Really, really cute. I'm definitely going to make more of them. It has a very simple collar just with a stand and a collar piece. I just used some little cream buttons that I had in stash. I've been wearing this a lot since I finished it. I thought the pattern was great for, new to me designer. Very easy to use, a lot of information. Gives tons of info on how to modify, as like I was saying, if you need to shorten or lengthen anything, and it's pretty size inclusive. So I would definitely recommend this pattern, and I'm eager to see future designs from this pattern maker. The kitten is trying to get in if you hear weird noises in the background. So yeah, I am really pleased with this. I think the raglan is so cute. I think a color block version would be very cute. I kind of want to do like a black and white linen version with like color blocking. I think that would be really cute. Would be a great scrap busting project. You could also make it longer, like a dress version would be cute. So lots of like hackability with this pattern, and I would definitely recommend it. My second sewing FO, whoops, doesn't look quite as fresh anymore because I've worn them multiple times already, but I will hold these up for you. So these are the Willa shorts by Spaghetti Western Sewing. Oh yeah, they're looking a little rumpled. I apologize for that. But I used this really fun vintage cotton floral print that I got. Super colorful, really fun. It may be like a cotton linen blend. Honestly, they have a little bit of a linen-y hand feel. Elastic waist shorts, but what's really fun about these is that they have this little ruffle that like frames the entire outside edge of the short. It goes all around the bottom, and then they have a little tulip hem at the side. Like I said, I've worn these a couple times. One of our recent trips was to our friend's lake house, and I did wear these as like a swimsuit cover up, which they were perfect for that. I'm not gonna put footage in of me wearing them because they are quite short and I'm just not overly comfortable prancing around in my short shorts on YouTube, but yes, they are really cute. I will definitely make another pair. I think like a black pair would be really wearable, and I'm kind of viewing these more as like a pajama short, like an around the house or like a beach cover up kind of short. But yeah, I really like them. Another excellent, very size inclusive pattern. And I didn't make muslins for either of these. I just made them straight off the pattern, aside from those couple of like length modifications on this one. It fits really well. So I would definitely recommend both of these patterns. Again, these were the Spaghetti Western Sewing Willa shorts. Okay, that's it for sewing FOs. I'll be throwing them over there. Let's move on to knitting. So first I have a pair of socks, which I dropped the ball band. Got it. All right, first and only finished pair of socks this week, actually. These are one of the designs for the first month of Summerlee's new Colorwork Cuff Club. Colorwork Cuff Club, yes. So Summerlee started this in August. You bought in, I think it was $12 in August. I think the price has now gone up to $15, but it is still open. So I paid $12, and then every month for a year, I'll get a new Colorwork Cuff design, and that's super fun. I also love Summer and her patterns, so I just want to support her. And I finished the first pair. So these were the Granny Stripe socks. She actually released 2 cuff designs in August. One was these, and the other had like a really cute little flower design. So yeah, I started with the main color, which was by Junk Yarn. The color is Pegasus, and it was on their Smooth Sock 4-ply base, which is a 75-25 superwash merino nylon blend. So I started with that, and you can see it has like a cool light blue base, but then has all these fun speckles in it. So I went stash diving and I pulled solids that kind of were in the speckles. So like hopefully you can see there's like pops of red and pink and purple and the darker blue. This blue mini actually came with it, but all the other colors I pulled scraps from my stash, and I think they turned out really cute. They really give me like ski bunny, like winter vibes. Here's the set. I love them. They were super fun to knit. I think they turned out very cute. The one thing I'll say is Summer recommends going up to a 2.75 millimeter needle for the color work. And I think it blocked out really nicely, but next time I think I would probably only go up to a 2.5 millimeter needle. Because I just felt like it's a little bit more open than it needed to be for me. I can knit my color work like pretty loosely. So overall though, I'm really pleased with these. When I first started them, I was like, these are a little crazy. Like, I don't know about them, but I ended up loving how they turned out. And these ones are going in my box of socks for myself, which I will then like give myself one every couple of days, give myself a pair every couple of days in December during Vlogmas, which I'm already starting to think about Vlogmas and how I'm gonna do it. If I'm gonna do it. Let's be honest, I'm gonna do it again. But you know, what I'm gonna include, and that's definitely one thing I'll be doing again, but I know it seems early, but if you have any ideas of things you'd like to see for Vlogmas this year, please let me know, because I am starting to kind of noodle on that already. But yeah, these are going to go in my box of socks. Really happy with how they turned out. Okay, next I have my beach day shawl, which this was part of Sari Nordland's summer shawl knit along that she did this year. So we knit 3 small shawls over the course of 3 months. Usually she does a summer sock knit along, but this year we did shawls instead, and it was super fun. So this was the last one, the beach day shawl. Beautiful texture. This one had a slightly different construction than the other two, and I'll show you all of them together. This one is definitely my favorite color combo. I hope you can see that. I'm sorry, I'm having to use a little bit of artificial lighting today, but hopefully you can see those really pretty color variations with that mohair. And the pattern does kind of remind me of like beach waves or like seashells. And yeah, it's just a really cute little, this one is more of a true triangle style shawl. Very happy with how it turned out. All of these knit up really, really quickly. I think I knit this one in like 3 or 4 days. My only thing that I don't love about this one is this little edge. So you finish the long edge with just a couple of garter rows, and after blocking it lies pretty flat, but it does tend to want to flip up a little bit. I think another reason that might be the case more so on mine, and I don't know if you'll be able to see this or not, but I did run out of my mohair on just those last couple of rows. So the last few rows are a little bit more flimsy than the rest of the shawl because they don't have that mohair to reinforce. And I think that could be contributing. You cannot tell, like when I'm wearing it or just looking at it, that I ran out of mohair, but it was so close. I just almost had enough, but not quite. So let me show you all 3 of these together now that the knit along is finished. The first one was the Poet Scarf. Gorgeous, one of my favorite ever lace motifs, a really pretty yarn combo. And this one, as well as the next one, you started at the small end and then increased and then decreased back down. And I do think I prefer this shape for this size of shawl because it's longer, it has a longer wingspan, and it's a little bit easier to style it versus the Beach Days one that's a little bit more narrow. So that was the first one. Then we did the Kutar shawl, which is another great lace pattern Sari's used before. This was a really pretty kind of rose goldy color that I had, held with some matching mohair. And this is the same shape as the Poet one. Fold these up. And then yeah, last but not least, we had the Beach Day. And I think you can see what I mean, like the wingspan is a little bit shorter, the shawl's a bit deeper, just due to the nature of the construction. For this one, we started with a tab cast on and worked our way out like a more traditional triangle shawl. So yeah, I'm really happy, really happy with how they all turned out. I think they're beautiful. I love the colors. I think they're very like pretty neutrals. I'm not exactly sure what I'm gonna do with all of them yet. I already have one little scarf like this that I made over the holidays last year, and it's like a really rich chocolatey brown, and I love it. And I really like all of these, but I don't know if I have room in my wardrobe for like 4 or more of this size of scarf. So I don't know. I think some of them will probably end up as Christmas gifts. I just can't decide which ones I want to keep, if any. So this one I think is the best color for me, but this one is probably my favorite, but probably the worst color for me. So I don't know, maybe I should compromise and keep this one, or maybe, I don't know. If you have a preference of which one you think I should keep, do let me know. Should I keep the lightest Poet one, which is my favorite lace, but probably the worst color for me? This one is my least favorite in the shape, but my favorite in color, and I really like the texture. I think this one's the hardest to wear though. Or should I keep this one that is like a pretty decent color for me? This one is like all around like just solidly good. So I don't know. Let me know if you have an opinion. And yeah, maybe we'll find a new home for the rest of them. Or maybe I'll just keep them all. I don't know. We'll see. Who knows? So anyway, summer shawl knit along is now over. It was super fun. I do kind of hope that Sari goes back to the sock knit along next year, because I think I'm glad I participated in this year, and I had all these yarns in stash that I was able to pull from, but I do think the socks are more wearable for me. You know, you can never have too many pairs of hand knit socks. I think I probably already have too many of these little scarves. Oh, and I forgot to say, this yarn, the one I just used for the beach day shawl, was from Craft Me Not Yarn Co. The color was Lurlin at Dusk. It was a trial skein, and that was gifted to me by my friend Jess, and it is really beautiful, like one of a kind color. So, and I held it with some mohair I just had in stash. So yes, great little stash busting projects. I would really recommend any of the patterns. They're very fun. But yeah, one only needs so many tiny scarves, in my opinion. All right, next up, in a similar vein, I finished my Traveler Cowl by Andrea Mowry. So this has been a really fun summer project. I can definitely see myself knitting more of these in the future. I loved the idea of knitting on this like pretty much only while I was traveling, and that's kind of how it worked out. So we've been doing quite a bit of driving around, doing these little like road trips this summer, and I cast this on a road trip, and I finished it on a trip last weekend. So I'm actually going to put a picture in here of this on my mannequin so you can see what it looks like when it's on. The yarn I used for this was my hand spun. The braids were both from Three Waters Farm. There was a solid like bare natural white Targhee braid, and then the other was on I'm blanking on the type of fiber that it was, but it was another like natural sheep fiber. They're all natural sheep fibers. What am I saying? I'm sorry, I cannot remember. I'm sure I said it on the past podcast. I want to say Polworth, but I know that's not right. I feel like it starts with an F. Oh well. It was the color, it was like amethyst, stone and amethyst. It was this really pretty like shades of purple. Anyways, yes, this is my first time doing a like garment or accessory project with hand spun, and here it is. So that's the front. Definitely helps to see it on the form so you can see what it looks like when worn. The back is a really nice detail. You have this I-cord edge seam that runs down and then just continues down the edge. So it's all very clean, well constructed. You'd expect nothing less from Andrea. All of her patterns are beautifully written. It is by Andrea Mowry, if I didn't already say that. And I'm just really, really happy with how this turned out. The hand spun was a little thick and thin, but this pattern really does help to kind of even it out, hide any of those little imperfections. And I'm very pleased with how the color like transitioned through the project. It's very soft. I was making this as a gift at first, but I think I might have to keep it because I really love it so much. At first, I had a little bit of a hard time getting into the rhythm of this stitch repeat, but I would say in the second half of the project, it really started to flow and I really started to find my rhythm with it. And after finishing it, I would definitely make another one. I don't know if I would make like the shawl or any of the larger projects with this stitch pattern, but I do think the hand spun cowl is like a great way to go. I could definitely see myself making more of these in the future for myself or for gifts. I'm kind of sad that it's over actually. This was one that I just wanted to keep working on because the hand spun was so delightful and towards the end it was just very, very easygoing. So I don't know, maybe the shawl's in my future, maybe we'll see. Really enjoyed it, really happy with how it came out and would knit again. Okay, when I finished it, this was an unexpected cast on and finish. So when I finished the Traveler Cowl, I had quite a bit of yarn left over. So as I said, this yarn I made with 2 4-ounce braids, and I got 2 pretty large like hanks of yarn that I had already wound up into balls. I definitely did need the second ball. I broke into the second ball, but I had quite a bit left. So I was like, what can I do with quite a bit of this hand spun yarn? And I decided to make an emotional support chicken. So this is Rhubarb, the emotional support chicken. She is going to be a gift for my cousin who is moving back to Columbus from the West Coast next month. I'm very excited for her to be coming home. And I figured this would be a nice little welcome home present for her. Hopefully she likes it. If not, she can come home and live with me. But this is rhubarb. I used all the leftover hand spun. I think it worked out so well in the pattern. Like, I like how the striping, the natural striping in the yarn kind of lent itself to all the different sections of the chicken. I had enough to do the under piece as well. Little safety eyes. So yes, this is rhubarb. This is the 4th emotional support chicken that I've made. And it had been a while since I made one. I kind of had a frenzy right at the beginning and made 3 like back to back. That was a bit much. But this one was super fun, and like I said, it had been a while, so it was kind of nice to make another one again. The short rows are just really addictive. This one is a little bit smaller. I went down half a needle size from the recommended. I think it recommends 4.5 millimeter needles, and I used 4 millimeter needles. You can still see a little bit, see the stuffing through. I probably could have gone down even to like a 3.5 or a 3 millimeter needle just to get a tighter fabric, but I think it turned out really cute. It's nice and huggable, squeezable. So yes, I hope that rhubarb is happy in her new home and she will be going to live there in the next month or so. So I don't see any more chickens in my future at this time, but never say never. I am curious if you have knit the chicken, and if so, how many? Because it seems like you can't just knit one. It's just a fun project. Okay, we have 2 more knitting FOs, both are garments, and then a big quilting FO, and then we'll move on to whips. So next knitting FO is, it's good and bad. I'm not 100% happy with it. I'm not going to show it on body today because I want to do a little more work on it. So I did finish, kind of hunkered down and finished my oolong tank. This is a pattern by Amy Scher. It looks absolutely beautiful. I'm thrilled with the color, the yarn, how the lace blocked out. I think it looks amazing. What I'm not 100% happy with yet is the fit. So the yarn that I used was Kelbourne Woolens Mojave. The color is slate gray. It is just like a beautiful grayish blue. It's very, very nice hand feel. So this is 60% cotton, 40% linen, but especially after blocking, it's so nice and soft and cool. It's lovely to wear. So it has this beautiful lace leaf design that goes all the way down the front and then splits and goes up the neckline. The neckline is finished with an I-cord bind off. And then you pick up and knit a bit of twisted ribbing around the sleeves. There's twisted ribbing on the bottom. Here's the back. It's beautiful. And I tried it on and everything fits well. So I should also say, everything doesn't fit well. I don't know why I said that. It mostly fits well. I knit size 5 and I did the size 1 bust darts. I did the same thing on my campus vest, which I recently test knit for Amy, and I had the same issue that I have with this. So what I've learned is that I don't need bust darts and I need to stop pretending like I do because, and honestly, it's not even really me pretending. It's like if I follow the instructions in the pattern based on their recommendations, I should be making a size 1 bust dart, but I just really don't need it. So the shoulders fit great, the neckline's great, the length is perfect. The issue is that I did the bust dart, which creates extra length here. The underarm is way too big. It really like hangs down and kind of bags out like that. And it's unfortunate because it's so beautiful, but I'm confident I can fix it. And my lazy fix is just gonna be to turn this inside out, right sides together, pin the side seams together, and I'm just gonna sew a new side seam. Like I'm taking like 1 inch to 1.5 inches off of each side. So it's gonna come in like this, and it's just gonna have a sewn side seam instead of no side seam. And that is my plan of attack for how to fix it, because I desperately wanna wear this. It's so beautiful. It took a really long time to knit. And aside from just having too much fabric in the size and the underarm, I'm really happy with it. So I'm just gonna take the sewing machine to it. I will definitely let you know how that turns out, hopefully next time, because I need to do the same thing to my campus vest. And it's about time to start wearing the campus vest. So I'm hoping to do that this week for both of these. Yeah, and I will let you know. I'll keep you posted. Maybe I'll be wearing it next time, hopefully. And if that doesn't work, we'll go from there. But that is my plan of attack. It is a beautiful pattern. All of Amy's patterns are beautifully written. So much good instruction, so much customization. Like, she is a very thoughtful designer. I've enjoyed testing for her. I enjoyed knitting this. I just don't need bust darts, at least in her patterns, is what I have learned. So I could have probably also sized down. I am on gauge, actually, like right on gauge. So I think it was me picking the wrong size and bust dart options issue, but it did turn out beautiful and I'm confident I can fix it. So I will circle back on that. I guess it's not 100% finished yet. It kind of is, but still a little bit of a tweak to do. All right, last knitting FO I'm really pleased with. This is my hot pink marled linto, and here it is. This marl just makes me so happy. It turned out so well. I love it. So I'll put a little video in here of me wearing it. This is the Linto by Yana Heelan from Line Magazine. This is my 4th or 5th one, I think. I've knit quite a few of these. As I was like knitting this one, I realized I already have a hot pink one, which is funny, but that one is like solid neon pink with mohair, so it's a little bit of a different vibe. This one, I saw somewhere on Instagram, someone doing this like white and hot pink marl, and I was like, I have to do that. I have to. And I just immediately cast this on. Some mods that I made, all 4 of my lintos are a little bit different, which is really cool. It's a great customizable pattern. The neckline I cast on and just knit a single layer neckline. I did not do the double folded collar. I decided to do eyelet increases on this one, which I've never done before, but they're really fun. This yarn combo has a bit of a sporty feel to it, and I think they really add to that kind of, yeah, that kind of like casual sporty feel. The yarns, the white is Knit Pick Stroll Bear, and the pink is Vicky Howell Montoyo Merino Light. The color is Meow Wolf, which is perfect. It's very soft, 100% superwash, so it's nice and like light to wear, especially with the eyelet increases. You get a little ventilation. For the sleeve, I kind of made up my own decreases for the sleeve. So I wanted a taper, but I didn't want as fitted of a sleeve as the pattern recommends. The pattern also comes with a 3/4 length sleeve. This one's more of a, I was hoping for a full length sleeve. It didn't block out as much as I thought it would, so it's more of a like wrist length or like bracelet length sleeve. I wanted a wider cuff, but still a bit of a taper, so just kind of tried it on as I went. You can see maybe where my decreases were. I just spread them out a little bit further. So it's a full sleeve, but it's not like overly baggy. It's kind of a heavy sweater. It has like a nice weight to it, but like I said, it's still pretty cool to wear. So I am thrilled with this. I'm excited to start wearing it this fall. I feel like the white and hot pink combo is just, it's so nice because I love wearing neon pink. I mean, I'm wearing pretty bright pink right now, but the neon pink can be a little overpowering. Like my pink mohair version, I wear like maybe once a year. It feels like an event sweater, you know, whereas this one feels like a little bit more casual. I'm also so happy with the marl. I considered knitting this as a drop shoulder at first, but I decided I wanted a raglan or round yoke because I wanted to be knitting in the round the entire time. I've knit a drop shoulder marl design before for my friend's son. It was like a kid sweater. And there is a noticeable difference between the marl knit flat and knit in the round, and I knew I didn't want that. So I think the marl in this is very consistent and I love it. Oh, I also added a split hem. That was one other modification. So Yes, love. Think I'm gonna wear this a lot, probably at home and out and about, honestly. It feels like it could kind of be one of those like dual duty sweaters, so I am excited about it. This pattern is such a great blank slate. I'm sure it won't be my last one. All right, last but not least, I finished my Sawtooth Star quilt. So here's a picture of me holding it up. I just kind of wanted to finish it before the end of summer, which I know is technically September 21st, but I just had a long weekend over Labor Day and it felt like the right time to just like power through and get this done. So yes, I'm really happy with how it all came together. I think the colors, I just realized I'm saying really happy like 900 times in this episode, so I apologize. But I wasn't sure about how all of these colors were gonna come together. And in the end, I think it's so fun and nice and I love it. So I ended up alternating a solid star and then a game star and then a solid star and then a game star. And so the backgrounds are also alternating. I tried to make sure no square was touching another square with the same colors. So that was a little bit of a puzzle, but I think it worked out. The binding is a little rainbow check I had left over. So there's a few other little color pops in the binding. And I think the colors turned out great, but what I love most about this is that it's 100% linen. So all of the fabrics and the stars are linen scraps from garments that I've made. And then the back is just some like solid oatmeal linen that I had lying around. And even the binding is linen. So the batting's cotton, just like the standard cotton batting that I use, but it is very cozy and it's very cool, which I love. So this is going to be my summer quilt for here in the craft room. It's going to live on my chair over here where I like to sit and knit. And yeah, I'm hoping I can get a little more use out of it before it's time to switch to the autumn blanket. I like have a seasonal blanket now for the room because I have made too many blankets is what it really is. But it's kind of fun to switch things out with the arrival of a new season. So that was a big project that I've been working on for a long time and it felt really good to get it finished. And that kind of opens up the door for what my next quilting project is going to be. I have started to noodle on that a little bit, but we'll see what I decide to jump into. So that is it for finished objects. We're 30 minutes in. I knew I had a lot of those today, so thanks for hanging in there. Let us now move on to whips. Okay, let's jump into whips. I may have only had one pair of socks finished, but I have 3 on the go. So you may remember a while back, I finished the first sock of Stephen West's surprise sock along. I keep wanting to say summer sock along because that's Sorry Northland's thing, but he does the surprise sock along, which this year were the Color Opportunity socks. And I did finish the first one during the knit along. So this is the inside of the leg, and then on the outside of the leg, you have these colorful welts. These are really crazy. The brioche heel flap I love. That's like my favorite detail. They're very fun, kind of an interesting construction. So the first clue was the leg section, and you actually knit that flat in this direction. Then for the second clue, we picked up around the edge and knit the cuff as well as the heel and heel turn. For the third clue, you knit just the top of the foot with these little eyelet rows. And then for the final clue, you knit the gusset and bottom of the foot as well as the toe. So yeah, really wild, pretty fun. They feel more like a slipper, honestly, wearing them, just because there's some of those details are quite heavy, like the welts and the brioche heel flap. Yeah, they feel quite dense and like heavy. So I do anticipate only wearing these around the house, also because they are insane looking, but they're very fun. So I finished the first one a few weeks back, and I did finally get around to starting the second one, and I'm about halfway done. So I finished the leg, I finished the first 2 clues. So I finished the leg, the cuff, and the heel. So next I'll need to knit that top of the foot and then the bottom of the foot and the toe. So I don't know, these are crazy. I keep getting like bursts of energy to work on them, and then I don't even want to look at them for like a week. So I will finish them eventually. I just don't know when, but they are ongoing. I'm excited to have them. They're fun, but yeah, they're crazy. Ongoing. Oh, I could tell you what yarns I'm using, huh? The main color, if I have the ball band, was from Ken Yarn, who I don't believe is a dyer anymore. The color is Ugly Stepsister, and that's this like pretty kind of variegated berry tone. And then my color pops were just things I had kicking around, scraps and stash. I got a hot pink, that's Lang Jaw wool, and then a couple of minis from my local yarn store. There's just this light pink one and this kind of brown. And I'm getting a little worried that I'm not gonna have enough of the brown to finish the other toe, but we'll find out. If I have to use a different color, I feel like it just adds to the craziness, so we will go from there. Next, I have in my car sock bag this really pretty Sashiko kind of rice bag that I purchased at a local market. My new car socks, which these are the next design in Summer Lee's The Sock Project book, which I am slowly but surely making my way through all of those designs. It's gotten more slow since I started doing the Colorwork Cuff Club as well, and for a reason I'll talk about next. But yeah, the next pair are the 2x2 rib socks, just a really classic top-down ribbed sock, but with some fun color blocking. So I'm actually using 2 of the colors that Sari uses for the sample in her book. So these are both Knit Pick Stroll. The red is Buoy, and then the pink is Dogwood Heather. And this is Summer's like favorite combo. She uses this all the time. The trick you learn on this pair is this really nice clean switch between the colors. So normally when you switch between colors on ribbing, you end up with a little bit of a purl bump row of the previous color. But the trick is if you knit the first row, knit all the stitches in the first row of the new color, you get this seamless color transition, and it really does not interrupt your rib at all. So it looks really nice and clean. So the rest of the body of the sock will be knit in the Dogwood Heather, and then I'm just gonna do the toe in some Knit Pick Stroll Bear. Summer uses like a green for hers, but I didn't have anything like that. So I'm just going with some nice classic cream, and I think these are gonna be cute and almost feel a little bit like Christmassy or Valentine's-y maybe. So that's kind of my ongoing car whip that they'll just be on the needles probably for a long time with this pair. It's like a pretty long leg and it's all ribbed, so it might take me a little while, but they're fun to work on. Nice to just have something like that in the car. Okay, my third sock whip I cast on yesterday, and it's a test knit. So I have been watching Laura at Sunday Morning Knits on her podcast for a while. She's very sweet. It's a delightful podcast, and she likes to knit socks and design socks. And I believe she is like a classics. She studies classics. She's like getting her PhD or like Greek classics. And I always, I've always been kind of interested in that as well. But I like to joke that one of the main little tidbits of information that I remember from art school are the types of Greek columns. And I teach that to everyone. It's just funny. I'll put a little graphic in here. So you've got your Doric, your Ionic, and your Corinthian. And everywhere we go, I quiz Troy, my partner, and I'm like, what kind of column is that? What kind of column is that? Is it fluted or not fluted? So it's just kind of like a funny little inside joke. So when Laura put out the test call for the Corinthian socks, which I'll put a picture in, are inspired by the Corinthian column from Greek architecture, I had to test knit them because I thought that was hilarious, and they're also beautiful. So I am testing these. I'm testing size 2, and I started yesterday. So let me show you the yarn I'm using. I think the color Laura used for hers is beautiful. It looks like a marble. It's like perfect, but I felt like I wanted to use something from Stash. So I am using my skein of Rainbow Sprinkles sock yarn from Camellia Fiber Company. It is 100% merino wool, so there is no nylon. These are gonna have to be worn with care, but the yarn is gorgeous. So they do this for Pride. I actually got a I think I got a $15 gift card from them for leaving like a Google review or something, and just put it towards this one special skein. So the base is like an undyed cream, and then it has all these little rainbow speckles. It's very, very fun. And here's what I have. I'm knitting these on 32-inch circular needles using magic loop, and I just finished the cuff of the first one. So it has a double folded cuff, very nice, clean stockinette on the inside. And then it has a few purl rows and these little like flower eyelets that are supposed to be like the top of the column. I think it's looking very cute so far. Just getting ready to start that lace portion, and then the rest of the leg I think is 2x2 rib. So yeah, I think the rainbow sprinkles is gonna knit up very cute in these, and you'll still be able to see like all of the detail. Magic loop, not my most favorite sock knitting method, but all my other needles are in use. So I'm making do, and honestly, I'm enjoying it. So just kind of got to start on those. We only have to have one sock finished by the end of September, so I don't see that being a problem at all. And so far the test knit has been delightful. So I'll keep chugging away on those, but very excited about them. Okay, I'm looking at my notes over here if you see me glancing over. Next, we'll move on to garments. So I am currently knitting the Nebula by Andrea Mowry. Here's a picture of her version. I am knitting the long sleeve version that is made with a fingering weight yarn held with a lace weight suri. There's also a DK weight suri version. And these are the yarns I'm using. These were very kindly gifted to me by my friend Jess when I went to visit her in North Carolina. They are stunningly beautiful. I'm obsessed with them. The fingering weight yarn is by Miss Babs. It's their Sonatina base. Fingering weight, 75% superwash, 25% nylon. It really doesn't feel like a superwash to me though. It has kind of like a nice rusticy hand feel. Very pretty silvery blue. And then the suri is Explore Knits and Fibers. It's from their Ireland collection. The color is Skellig. It's 74% baby suri alpaca, 26% silk. So holding these together and getting a really, really beautiful fabric. I've made some decent progress on this. I'm actually like closer to being done than I thought I was. It's at a stage where it's kind of hard to show right now because I'm working on the front and the back separately. Yeah, I might have to show it to you upside down. I don't know how else to show it. Okay, here's it. It's gonna be upside down. So here you can see how beautiful the fabric is. It's creating kind of a nice marl. This is upside down. So this is the front, and you can see it has a dipped hem, so the back is longer. And then I finished the front. Let me show it to you right side up. Okay, I finished the front panel. Yay! So you shape the neckline, and then there's a bit of ribbing at the shoulders. And now I'm just working away on the straight portion of the back panel. It's gonna be a big, oversized, cozy sweater. So yes, working on the back panel. Look at that, even there you can see right here, whereas this section where I'm knitting flat versus the bottom where I knit in the round, the marl looks a little bit different. It's interesting. Yeah, so I think I have like 13 more rows of stockinette on the back, and then I start shaping the back. And then once the back is done, I do my, I think there's like a 3 needle bind off, and then it's just collar and sleeves. So yeah, I guess I am closer to finishing this than I thought I was, which is exciting. I cannot wait to wear this. It is like the softest fabric ever. This is gonna be the perfect like cozy fall sweatshirt vibes. And I've already started thinking, if I don't finish my framed sweater in time for Rhinebeck, this might be my Rhinebeck sweater, if it's warm enough. We will see. I'm not gonna show my framed today because I haven't worked on it at all. It's because I've been more interested in working on this, and I'm trying to just kind of follow that, you know, what I wanna work on is what I'm gonna work on. And I've also been working quite a bit on the next thing I'm going to show you, which is Troy's old-fashioned cardigan. So my thought was to knit this for Troy for Rhinebeck and the framed for myself. But if I have to prioritize one, I'm going to prioritize the one for Troy because I have a bunch of other sweaters that I could wear if I want to. to Rhinebeck. We're also only going on Sunday, so it's not like I'm gonna be there for the framed photo op anyway. So there's really no pressure, and I'm trying to like be okay with that. I will finish the framed at some point because it's beautiful and I want to wear it, but I don't need to finish it for Rhinebeck. And honestly, who knows if it's even going to be cold enough to wear an Oliver Colorwork worsted weight sweater anyway. That's going to be a hot sweater. So yes, I'm making the old-fashioned cardigan for Troy. This is a pattern by Maxim Cyr. I'm knitting it in size 4, and I'm using the recommended yarn, which is the Le Garçon British Aran weight. The color is Vincent's Highland Coup. It is this really gorgeous, like rich brown. The pattern is beautiful. It's really fun to knit. I did separate the sleeves, and I just started knitting a little bit on the body. I actually had knit a couple rows on the body and had to rip back and redo a couple of rows because I misread one instruction on the second to last row before separation, and I had ended up with messing up my repeat of the all over texture on the sleeve. And luckily I caught it really quickly, and I only had to rip back like 4 or 5 rows and redo the sleeve separation, but I hadn't knit like a ton of body because it would have bothered me. And actually the only reason I thought to even look for that was because Ray from Needles at the Ready, from the Needles at the Ready podcast, made the same mistake on his and pointed it out, but didn't realize it till he was like basically done. And I was like, oh, let me just check and make sure mine's right. And I had done the same thing he did. So read this pattern carefully, especially right before sleeve separation if you are knitting it. But otherwise, it's been really delightful. The texture is very easy to memorize and knit. It's just, you know, it's a paid for pattern, so I won't give any specifics, but the yarn's gorgeous. It has like a texture to it, but it's soft. It's not scratchy at all. I think Troy's gonna really enjoy it. So I do need to get cruising on this body. I think I need to knit like 15 inches of body before the ribbing, and then we'll look at the sleeves and the bands. So I would really like to finish this for him before Rhinebeck. And really that means I want to finish it in September, because in October I'm gonna have another big project to work on, which I'll talk about in a minute. All right. Next, I just wanted to show you a quick update on my crochet blanket, and I'm actually gonna have to stand up to show this to you because it's getting really big. So when I don't feel like working on my knitting, I always want to work on my crochet blanket. This is a scrappy granny square blanket. It's just using all my fingering and sport weight yarn scraps. It's getting pretty big. Not big enough yet, but it is getting there. I am holding 2 strands together, so it's creating like a fun kind of marl. I've also got some scraps from viewers that you guys have sent me in here, so that's awesome. I don't know if it needs to be too much bigger, honestly. I'll probably use up the rest of the scraps that I have. I'm keeping it in this cute bag that I got at my LYS. It's actually like a lunch bag, but it's perfect for this big blanket. Here's the rest of the scraps that I have. And like I said, I'm probably just gonna finish using up what I have in here now and go from there. See if it's big enough at that point. I have about 1 million ends that I need to weave in. So I'll do that and then reevaluate, but I do think that is gonna be my autumn blanket for the craft room. So I wanna finish it sooner rather than later. It also doesn't need to be huge in here. I really just need like a lap size throw blanket that I can cover up under. So yeah, I probably put like 4 or 5 rounds on it. So I started with just like a little granny square in the middle, and I'm just going around and around and around. But what I do is I work 1 round and then I turn the blanket around. So you might have noticed that one side has kind of a line through the middle where you can see where I've been flipping it. But what that does is keep your granny square square. It keeps it from torquing, because crochet stitches do naturally bias a little bit, but if you reverse the blanket or the square on every row, it corrects itself. So it will maintain the square shape. If you don't do that, over time it will start to rotate. So that's a little crochet hack for you. is getting very heavy. I'm excited to weigh it at the end and see how much it weighs. Okay, last whip is spinning. So I haven't been doing a ton of spinning recently, but I did finish the first bobbin for my next skein that I'm working on for my night shift. So I have 6 braids that I'm working on spinning up, each into its own skein to use in a night shift shawl. And I finished the first bobbin of the next one. So I'm doing a fractal spin. So I've split the braid into 3 pieces. One will get spun end to end, one gets split into 2, and the other gets split into 4. So this was the one that got split into 4. And I must not have done a very good job splitting it because I could actually only fit 3 of the pieces on here. So what I did was take that last little skinny piece, break it in half, and just add it to the other 2. It's just not a precise science for me. I'm just kind of going for it. So yeah, you can see the singles. I think the colors are really fun. This is really just a more vibrant version of the other skein that I already made. It's got these peaches and berry colors and purples. This is 100% Targhee, and it's from Fat Cat Knits on Etsy. The color is Lipstick Diva. So 2 more bobbins to go on this, and then plying and finishing and all that. That is all I've got for whips today. We will now move on to acquisitions and a little bit of chat. Okay, so I have quite a few acquisitions today from a few different places that I'll share with you. But before we jump in, I did want to tell you about one big knitting plan that I have coming up for October, and you might be able to guess what that is, but it is the West Knits MCAL. So this is the 15th year of Stephen West's Mystery Shawl Knit Along. It happens in October every year. It's my 2nd year participating. So last year was my 1st year. I did the Geo Gradient. I can put a picture of it in here of my version. It was not the best year to decide to finally participate in this knit along. If you follow it, you probably know what I'm talking about. There was some controversy with the design right at the beginning, and it kind of blew up into like a whole big thing and led to a lot of re-knitting for good reason. But that was not like, I'm really happy with how the shawl turned out, and I loved the experience of the knit along, but that was like just kind of an unfortunate way to start. But I am going to participate again this year because what I love about the knit along is it's just like getting out of your knitting comfort zone. Like, first of all, I love the surprise of the getting the new clue every week. So the first one comes out, I think, October 3rd, and then there'll be a new one every week for the following 3 weeks. I love trying all the new techniques. Like, Stephen West always has interesting, fun techniques that are unexpected in his designs. And I kind of love just like basically dedicating the month to one like crazy project. But with that said, that's why I'm trying to kind of wrap up some of these other whips, because I know most of October is going to be this project. And I was waiting for like the yarn requirements to come out, and when they did, I was like, I have something in stash. So this year you need 2 colors, 2 skeins of each color, fingering weight yarn, and an optional mohair color. And if you watched when I was in North Carolina, Jess and I filmed a little episode together, and I showed this yarn there because I bought it at one of the yarn stores we went to, and I bought it to make a Doppio sweater, which calls for 2 strands of fingering weight and a strand of mohair. But I think I'm going to use it for my West Knits instead, because if I could use something from stash, I would like to. So the yarns I'm going to be using are this, which is Ryan yarn. It's hand dyed in Athens, Georgia. The color is Queen of Shadows, and this is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. Really pretty, like deep kind of berry color. It has a little bit of variation in it, but not too much. And my second color is going to be Leadingman Fiber Arts, this fun variegated color. It is called Showstopper, the base. It's a 75-25 blend. This color is called Only Have Eyes for You, but it's like EWE. So I think I'm gonna use these in my MCAL. I'm a little bit worried that there's not enough contrast. I should probably do the swatch, but I'm not going to. So I think it's going to be pretty. It might not have as much contrast as some other versions, but I think there's enough that it should work. Looking at some of the other kits that they've put for sale on their shop, I think there's some similar stuff. I think it'll be okay. And then as the optional mohair, I have some Sandusgarn 10 Silk Mohair. The color is, I do not know what the color is. 4628, not the most exciting, but it's this kind of lighter pink. I think it kind of pulls out a lot of the pinks in here, and it'll just add like a nice tonal variation in there. So this is gonna be my West Knits MCal. I was happy I had stuff in stash that I could use. I will have I have 4 balls of this, and I probably only need 1 for the shawl, so I will now have 3 balls of pink mohair, but I'm sure I can find a use for those for some other project. I'm excited. I'm getting really excited. It's hard to wait like a whole month once you pick out your yarns and you just want to cast on, but there is like a lot of excitement that kind of like builds around this project. So that is going to be my West Knits MCal. This year it's called Go Go Dynamo. So we'll see. I'm excited. Steven has said that it's going to be similar in like color usage to the Starflake, which is one of my favorite shawls of his, so that's really exciting to me. And please let me know if you're also participating. I'd love to hear like what colors you're doing, or you know, what you think about the whole thing, so please let me know. All right, acquisitions. This is going to be a long episode today. We'll do acquisitions. I'll try to go through them a little bit quickly and kind of like mix in the chat as we go. So, speaking of Jess and when I was visiting her, I of course managed to leave a bunch of my clothes and my bathing suit down there. Even though I thought I was being careful and checking everything, this is what I get for putting things in a drawer when I'm staying at someone else's house. So, Jess had to send me an emergency care package with my things in it, and she stuck this gorgeous sock set in there as well as a gift. So thank you again, Jess. This is beautiful. It is from Sunday Fiber Co. It's their barefoot sock set. It's 80% organic merino wool, 20% recycled nylon. Love that. It is superwash. The colorway is Delphinium and the mini colorway is Hydrangea. So it's just this really gorgeous, like soft, natural white kind of base with like purple and blue. It really is like a blue hydrangea kind of color combo. It's gorgeous. Thank you, Jess. I'm excited to use these. So pretty. And then while I was in North Carolina, I used a mug that Jess had, and I loved it so much that I had to buy one for myself. So while we're on the theme of visiting Jess, I finally got a very cute little sheepy mug. So this is from Sugar Bee Pottery. I got this on Etsy. It has all these cute little sheeps on it. There is a sheep-shaped thumb rest, and then there's a little heart in the bottom. It's so cute. I've been making little like lattes in this, so love it. I need more sheepy things in my life. Okay, this one showed up in the mail way earlier than I expected. Last year I did this advent for the first time. It is the only advent, it's the only yarn related advent that I purchased this year. I'll just say that. And this is going to be part of my Vlogmas for sure, and part of my Christmas tradition. It is the Woolens and Nosh Advent sock skein. So they've said that this year it's not like overtly Christmassy. They were like, you could use it for whatever you want. I'm still going to use it as my like advent sock. But this is such a great advent. I loved doing it last year. I don't know if they're still available, probably not, but consider it for next year if you're looking for an advent project. It's much more affordable to do like one skein of sock yarn than it is to do like a huge advent with all the minis. And it comes in this really cute little bag. It has a custom design every year. The font is really cute on this. It kind of looks like woolly. But what's so great about it is the bag has this snap, and then it's already caked up on the inside into 2 50-gram cakes with the yarns coming out. It also comes with a mini in this color, and it's kind of like a really dark charcoal, almost like a black this year. And there's a stripe of this color in between every stripe. So if, as you're pulling it out, if you just pull it out to where you see this color again, it remains a surprise. So you can really be surprised every day by like the stripe color, which is very, very fun. I love that. And it comes with, last year it came with a pattern. I don't know if they're doing that this year, but yeah, it's really, really fun. I love these. I also love the base, which is a Targhee nylon blend, which is a really nice, warm, like soft, round sock yarn base. So really excited. I wish they hadn't sent it so early, because how am I supposed to not look at it until Christmas? The temptation is strong. I've seen a few other podcasters get theirs and they're just like looking at it on the camera, and I'm like, I can't, I'm trying to stay strong and not look at it, but it's so hard. I'm gonna have to just put that away if I seriously don't want to look at it until the holidays. Okay, sorry, I've got boxes and piles of stuff everywhere. All right, so one last quick thing before we get to my stuff from Michigan Fiber Fest. When we were in Kalamazoo, Michigan, which is where we went to visit, we were mostly doing some beer tourism. We went to visit Bell's Brewery in Kalamazoo, which was delightful. If you ever get the chance to go, if you're into craft beer, it's excellent. We were doing some other things in the area as well, but one shop we visited there was called Kalamazoo Supply. Kalamazoo Dry Goods. I'll put it on the screen. Very cute, local, independently owned art supply shop. I could have stayed in there for hours. They had fiber things, they had paint, fine art things, fabric. It was amazing. But one thing I bought there was this book, which is Handmade Renaissance Fair Fashion, because Troy and I are going to the Ren Fair in Ohio at least twice this year. And the main reason I bought this was for this one men's shirt pattern. Troy wanted like a classic men's Ren Fair medieval shirt. And I'm gonna make it for him. So sorry, forgive me for flipping through here. I'm trying to find a picture of it. Here it is. So this is the pattern I bought the book for. But there are so many fun patterns in here. Like there's, it comes with all the paper patterns in the back. There's dresses, capes, there's sewing projects, there's leatherworking projects, there's like jewelry making projects. Yeah, look at some of the designs. They're really, really cool, and gender neutral designs. They have good like representation in the book. It's very, very cool. So I know not everyone's probably into this kind of stuff, but if you are interested in making like more costumey pieces, I would definitely recommend this book. And I'm excited to try some of these patterns. So yeah, do tell me, are you into the Ren Fair? Do you go to the Ren Fair in your area? I went last year for the first time and had a lot of fun. So this year we're going Pirate Weekend, which is in a couple weeks, and I'm excited for that. I already have a pirate costume. But then we're going in October, like closer to Halloween, and I kind of want to make a new outfit for that. So you might be seeing some pieces for that here in the next few weeks as well. Okay, the rest of what I have is all stuff that I got at the Michigan Fiber Festival. So, excuse me. As I said, we were in Michigan in Kalamazoo. We went to the little art supply store. I was talking to the owner about fiber and yarn, and she was like, well, do you know that the Michigan Fiber Festival is happening right now? And I was like, no, I did not. Thank you for telling me. And of course we had to go. So we went on Sunday morning. It was about a 30-minute drive from where we were. Not bad at all. Really didn't add a lot of time like to our overall journey. So we went up there on Sunday morning. It was a little bit rainy and a little bit cold, so it was definitely not super crowded, which was kind of nice. You know, we kind of got in, like leisurely checked out all the vendors, saw the animals, and just went on our way. It wasn't super crowded or super crazy. And I did get quite a few things. So let me show you. I was looking at the vendor list. I apologize for crinkling. And the first vendor that caught my eye was a Gem Fiber Arts. I have purchased from them before on Etsy and loved their fiber. So I had purchased Rolex from them and a bat from them before, my really pretty like pink and orange like California Sunset spin. If you remember that was from them. So that was the one booth I knew I wanted to go to. And I bought some Rolex from her. So I got 2 packs actually of these roll legs. They are gorgeous. They're really large actually, and the gradient is from like a pinky purple through a blue to this like fiery orange. I hope you can see these through the packaging. I'm sorry about the glare. They are made of superwash merino, Shetland, and oh my gosh, superwash merino, Shetland from Cardamom the sheep at Westwind Farm and Fiber. So this is Cardamom's wool, gorgeous colors. I just love this. So I'm gonna spin, like I said, I have this pack and 1 additional pack of these. I don't know how I'm gonna spin them yet. It's gonna be interesting. I guess it's gonna kind of, because they're roll legs, so if you start on this end, you're gonna get like a lot of pinks and purples and then orange at the end. So you'll kind of get like purple and then orange and then purple and then orange if you just spun them end to end. So I'll have to see. I'm not exactly sure how I want to spin them yet. But I don't know. I could see doing another traveler cowl, or I could do I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about it. But I have like 6 ounces. So something like medium sized. Those are gorgeous. That was like the first thing I ran to and bought. The second thing I bought was a sweater quantity. So right before we left for Michigan, I saw that, oh gosh, I'm blanking on her name. Edible Thoughts Makes is the podcast. She made a cardigan version of the Northwoods V-neck by Jessie May. I have been wearing my Northwoods V-neck like every day since I finished it. It's quickly become my most worn sweater. It very much just feels like an everyday kind of throw it on, wear it at the campfire, wear it to the grocery store. Like I've been wearing it non-stop. And part of it is that I love the yarn. And that is a 100% Rambouillet yarn. So when I saw, I think her name is Stephanie from Edible Thoughts Makes, when I saw her cardigan version, I was like, oh my God, I need a cardigan version now. So one of the first things I saw was a few different vendors at the festival had this yarn, but it's called Shepherd's Wool. And it is from Stonehenge Fiber Mill in Michigan, which is really cool. I didn't know they had their own fiber mill. It is a worsted spun fine wool. They're calling it worsted weight. To me, it's DK, so it's 4 ounces, 250 yards. To me, that's more of a DK weight. So my thought was to get a few different colors of this and make a V-neck, a Northwoods V-neck cardigan. So the first one I loved was this like like all the plies are a different color, kind of berry color. And I thought I could use this for like the cuff and the neckband and the hem and all of that jazz. And then I tried to pick out colors that were kind of within this in solids. So there's more of a dark berry, there's a hot pink, a little bit more of a corally color, and a lighter pink. So these are the colors that I got. I think I got 2 of this, and I might have to use this in a stripe as well, and then just 1 of each of the others. And yeah, that's gonna be a really fun cardigan. The yarn is beautiful. It is super soft. This one's called Raspberry Parfait, which is cute. It just says it's 100% wool. It doesn't say what it is. I'm imagining it's a blend, but it has that same feeling to me as the Rambouillet. Like it's extremely soft, but it's very full and bouncy and lightweight. So really excited. I don't know what I'm gonna cast this on, but I'm excited. I think it'll be very fun. And I'm excited to try modifying that sweater pattern into a cardigan, which isn't something that I've done before. The pile on the floor grows. That was the biggest purchase there. And these were shockingly affordable. Like this is a 100 gram skein, 250 yards. I think it was $12. Yeah, it was definitely under $15. So very good deal for a sweater quantity. I was really pleased. I would order like from their website again. I'm excited about that. All right, next I stumbled upon Lair of the Llama, which was not a vendor I'd ever heard of before, but I saw this sock skein and I just kind of freaked out. It is gorgeous. It's like a super light pink and it just has all these fun speckles in it. Love. This is Dusty Spring is the color. It is their merino sock 4-ply 75/25. I just loved the color. I thought it was so beautiful and soft. And then I also got this mini set from them with some of Summerlee's like sock designs in mind. I've been looking for more minis, and this is a gorgeous fade. I actually think I might knit these into faded socks for myself. Like made those faded socks for Troy a couple weeks ago and really loved them. So I think I might do a pair for myself out of these. I got a little jealous of how cute the faded socks were, so I might make my own pair. One other vendor had a bunch of really cute like Halloween yarns and Halloween sock sets, and Troy actually purchased this yarn, but I'm going to turn it into some Halloween socks for him. The vendor is called You Socksy Thing, which is very funny. Love, and she was so sweet and nice to talk to. This is an interesting blend. It's a merino tencel nylon blend, so they're a little bit cooler, which will be good for Troy. Has a little bit of a shine to it. That's the tencel. And this color is called Zebra. Sorry, I couldn't find it. It's called Zebra, but it was part of their Halloween collection, and when it knits up, these little white blips on the black kind of just look like little spirits like floating around like little ghosts. So these are going to be some Halloween socks for Troy. And from that same vendor, I got a couple of little notions as well. Some stitch stoppers. And I've been wanting one of these for a while. A little wooden tapestry needle case. Comes with 3 different tapestry needles in it. I just needed a better way to store these in my knitting bag. And then lastly, they had a swap table at the Fiber Fest, which was really cool. I love a yarn swap. So you could leave anything, you could take anything, and it was all free. So I did grab a couple of things from there, and 2 of them are for Troy. So the first one I grabbed was this fingering weight skein. So, oh, it looks very orange on the camera. It's pretty rusty orange, but it looks really bright on camera. This is Pashmina. Oh, Madeline Tosh Pashmina. It is a merino silk cashmere blend. The color is Terra. Really, really pretty. And I'm gonna hold that together with this, which I also got at the table. This is so drapey. It's like out of control. This is Circle R Ranch, the alpaca store from Caledonia, Michigan. It is their Surrey Elegance base. This looks very old to me. Like, I feel like somebody bought this in like the 80s. It's 100% Surrey alpaca lace weight, but look at the drape on this. It is quite heavy, but I'm gonna hold these together and make a hat for Troy. And I think there are some of those like darker winey colors in here, and I think that'll be really pretty held together. He really likes my iris hat by Sari Nordland, which is just like a 1x1 rib hat. So I think I'm gonna make him that out of these, and that'll be nice and warm. And then the last thing I grabbed is kind of nuts. It is this fingering weight skein of pink sparkly yarn. Wow, okay, you can really see the sparkle on camera, wow. I am not a big sparkly yarn person, but it was free, so I figured I would try it. It is so sparkly, oh my gosh. I am glad that that's coming across on camera. It is 63% superwash, 20% silk, 15% nylon, 2% silver poly. This one also has a very old looking label on it. Yeah, I feel like somebody just like made this in their house. But yeah, look at the sparkle. It's so pretty. So those were my freebies. And that is it. And that was a lot. So thank you for bearing with me. Yes, like I said, I touched on the Michigan Fire Festival. Last weekend we went to our friend's lake house. That was super fun. We met, it was in Pennsylvania. We kind of met halfway there with some of our friends from New York City. Just had like a really fun, relaxing couple of days away. But I am happy not to be traveling anymore. We did 2 back-to-back traveling weekends, and that was a bit much. I feel like I need at least a week in between, even though everything we did was really fun. I'm also looking at my August bingo board right now. I did get a bingo already for August. I'll show this to you next time, I think, because it's over there and I don't feel like getting it, but I decided I'm gonna try and fill out the entire board by the end of summer, which is September 21st. And I think I have 3 or 4 squares left, so should be doable. It's hard to believe that summer is coming to an end. It does not feel real, but anyway, I'll wrap this up because it's been a super long episode. Thank you so much for watching. Please do let me know, are you into Ren Fair? Are you participating in the West Nights MCAL? What do you think? Are you ready for fall or are you hanging on to summer? I love to hear from you all and I love to read your comments. So please do go ahead and leave me a comment if you are so inclined. And I hope you are getting lots of crafting time in here at the end of summer, gearing up for fall. It is cool today. I had the windows open this morning. It was like 60 something, so definitely feeling it and I am very ready. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you get lots of crafty time in the next few weeks and I will see you soon. Bye.